The next provision that we look at is treatment plant. So if your project has a water treatment plant or sewage treatment plant, you will use the layer name water underscore treatment underscore plant. And for water treatment, it is color code 1. And for sewage treatment plant, it is color code 2. So moving on, coming into one of the important features that we have in bylaws, that is the parking type. So uh, there are 4 different parking types that you can make in Sujog OPPS. One is the open parking, then we have basement, and we also have stilt and rooftop parking. So based on your design, you can select either one of them or multiple according to your design, and you can make the required polygons to show the area of your parking. So if you have open parking, you will use this layer name open underscore parking. Similarly, for basement, it is block 1, whatever the block is, and floor, it will be -1 or -2, -3, but obviously it will have minus as a factor here. Then if it is still parking, you will use special underscore parking with color code 3. And if it is rooftop parking, you will use the same layer name, but it will be color code 7. So based on the polygon and the layer name that you make here, the system will calculate based on the total parking requirement. And if the combination of these different parking types meets the total parking requirement, the scrutiny will get accepted. So then moving ahead, we also have different parking provisions. These will get activated automatically based on the bylaws and the project type that you are making. So if in your project visitor parking is mandatory to be provided, you can use the layer name visitor underscore parking, and you'll use the color code 7. So similarly, we have layer names for staff parking, two-wheeler parking, bicycle parking, EWS LIG, and MIG parking. So based on the mandatory requirement according to bylaws, this will get automatically detected, and you will have to provide the polygons on top of the parking type. So if I could show an example, this is an apartment project which has a basement and -1 floor. So the first thing that we do is we show the entire parking area for this project. So I have selected this layer that I've already made. It is called block 1 floor -1 covered parking, and this denotes the basement parking area, and the color code is 7. So inside it, for all the different parking provisions, I've also made a polygon inside this, and that is meant for the two-wheeler parking provisions. So as you can see, I've made a polygon two-wheeler parking, and the color code is 1. Now moving ahead, we have the special parking or the disabled parking provision. So there are 2 components to this. One is the polygon that you have to make for the DA parking count and the width. So based on the area that you make of this polygon and the width, the system will scrutinize and it will give accepted or rejected. Also, we have the maximum distance from the main entrance. That aspect is getting covered in the plan info. If you see the plan info, there will be a question related to this. Yeah. Distance of DA parking space from the building entrance. So you have to give the maximum distance that you have to provide. You have to give the value for that. If it is not required, if DA parking is not required in your project, according to bylaws, you will give the value as NA. Not direction is a simple feature that you have to just copy paste these two components. One is the text and one is the symbol that we have made. Just change it according to the direction of your site. And just a point to keep in mind, every text that you make in OBPass, any kind of text that you require to be made like voltage or rainwater harvesting, all of this has to be in M text. Now coming to amenity in open space, these are the set of amenities that you can make inside your site. And according to the bylaws, if it is coming less than 10 square meter, it will not be get calculated into the coverage area. If it crosses 10 square meter, it will still be accepted by the scrutiny engine, but obviously it will get added on to the coverage area. So based on the amenity you want to provide, you can use the layer name ACCBLK_1 unit, whatever, how many units you have. If you have two different units, you will have to provide 1 and 2 accordingly. So for guard room, you'll use the color code 1, electric cabin 2, substation 3, generator set 4, ATM 5, and if there is any other amenity that you have to provide, you can provide it as 6. And if these all provisions are coming under a single unit or a single block, you will name that block as ACCBLK_1, and it will be coming as the color code 7. And inside it, it will house different provisions based on your design and the applicability. The last component in site plan is the fire tender movement or the vehicular access within site. So for that, you have to make a layer name called block 1 fire tender movement. It should have a color code 7, and it will be a polygon that you have to make, and the system will automatically calculate the distance. So if I show you the reference document, inside the site plan, to showcase the vehicular access within site, I made a polygon. The length could be any of the provision, it doesn't matter, it could be of any shape, but the only point to keep in mind is the road width should be maintained. So the system will calculate the width according to the polygon you make, and it will give accepted or rejected based on the site. So for block 1, I've made this polygon, block 1 fire tender movement. Similarly, for block 3 and for block 2 as well. This concludes the site plan provisions. We'll be going into the floor plan in the next video.